Good afternoon. It's May 8th, 2023. And today we just had a range day, not a whole lot of trades. Um, we'll take a look at these. Maybe there's something in here in the morning, but I don't think so. Just a low volume day, um, fairly low volume. In real time, I wasn't looking at it that way, but uh, that's how it looks after the fact. So shouldn't take me more than a few minutes to go through this. So we had this uptrend in the overnight, and you can see we come short of the highs of the channel a couple times, and we get a second entry long trap off that key entry point. So I'm looking at two things here. One, we came up short of the highs of the trend channel, the level of resistance, and two, you have these dojis right here that created uh, a, an important price level here, and you can see that's where prices turn down. So you do get this first entry, second entry, but there's a couple things that you might not like about that. And unfortunately, I got trapped on the MES looking at that. And so yeah, they trap a bunch of people right there. Take it lower. Maybe you take this lower high, or maybe you consider it because that is off the trend channel, but it's not a great setup. And now that I'm looking, it's like 4 inside bars, so I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to take that. Get a break, first entry, second entry, short, no setup. But you might be looking at this as if we're going to get a new high anyway, so maybe you don't take that. But we do just get 2 legs down before we go sideways, and you see we get a break of this channel and another leg down to a new low, and then we just get this sideways stuff, and that really, it looked like prices were trying to reverse, and we're at the overnight lows. So when you get this higher low, I think you might want to consider that. And you can see a lot of people like that as a place to enter. Pretty clearly, we get a break and a couple legs up to a new high. Then you get this first entry, failed second entry long. Maybe you consider that. Not a great entry because you're thinking, maybe we're going to go to the highs, but we turn down right at the midline, so maybe we'll test the low again. And that's what happens. And then you get this higher low right here. Great bounce. I like this just as a trap because it's a range day. And so I think you should at least ride it to this midline. That's exactly where people took profits. You can see as soon as it hits the midline, people took profits. And then, maybe that's the break of the channel, and they took it to a new high and before it sells off again. You get a first entry, second entry, no signal bar, then a lower high, but there's a little too much. You want to see it go straight down, and we didn't do that. But this does look like, like we're due for a new low. So that's what we get, a new low before we take it higher again. And again, this looks like a repeat pattern of this trap right here. Only problem is there's more price rejection here, even though there's all these dojis here. You see one straight move down and then boom. Whereas here you get I was thinking this earlier too. Maybe this is more reason to take this and mark this blue, is we have a break of this channel and a move to a new low. Whereas here, it's not really clear that that's happening. So I think this one you could argue for it to be blue because it's a repeat pattern. And you can see a lot of people like that. We go higher before we sell off, and you're making higher highs and higher lows here, so there's no way to get in on this big sell-off. Higher low, no way to get in on this rally, and you get this break. And what looks like a bit of a spike in channel, but really just like a break and a couple moves to a new high. This one's tempting right here, but there's not a lot of room back to the EMA, and the low volume, 54. Yeah, there's like 3 ticks back to the EMA, but that's pretty tempting. Um, but this one, this one's pretty tempting too, because this kind of looks like a triple top first entry, failed second entry long, but you're in a range, and there's all these price levels in here. The midline, this closing price, I think I think that's too risky. Um, so that's how I saw it today. I hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.